joined from Cairo by Al-Ahram's managing editor, Mohamed Ezz El-Din. Welcome to Qnews, sir. Sir, how do you assess Egypt's role in Gaza over the past period?
Having me here on Qnews. Egypt's role is really important, and it was the most important actually, and it has been very prominent when it comes to political and diplomatic levels to implement the phases of the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement, and also achieving the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement to begin with. And the Sharm el-Sheikh summit was proof that Egypt has really put in so much effort, and even the US president has praised Egypt's role when it comes to the Gaza coast. And of course, Egypt has really good relationships with the occupied Palestine, and it is one of the closest countries to it, and has the capabilities for reconstruction in the Gaza Strip. And also Egypt had a huge role when it comes to supporting the people of Gaza and the Palestinians in general through the aid, and Egypt's keenness on sending humanitarian aid, and trying to send as much aid as possible according to what the Israeli occupied forces have allowed, even though Israel has tried to manipulate and stall this agreement. And so Egypt's role is really prominent, and it gets more important by the day, especially after wanting to start phase 2, as we've seen these statements yesterday. And so here Egypt will still have a huge role with the mediators and the international community when it comes to reorganizing and reforming the Gaza governance, and also getting back the land that is called the Yellow Line.
How do you view the Cairo meeting regarding the selection of the Gaza Administration Committee?
It is a very important meeting actually, and it had all the representatives of the Palestinian factions, and choosing Ali Shath to lead this committee was actually really successful and wise. He has enough expertise which will help him to govern the Gaza Strip and enter the reconstruction phase in the Gaza Strip. And then all the names that were mentioned actually met welcoming and approval, and everyone thinks that these people and individuals that were chosen for the technocratic committee will be able to live up to what everyone is expecting for them, of them. And then also they will be having a peace committee that will be governing the Gaza Strip according to Trump's peace plan. And of course everyone is waiting for what's going to happen after the formation of this stability or peacekeeping committee, and to see if Israel will actually comply to the Trump peace plan and the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement. And so Egypt's meeting was really important, and as I said, Turkey, Qatar and Egypt have actually all agreed on the importance of pushing the peace operation in the upcoming days and alleviating the suffering of the Gaza people.
What is your opinion and narrative on the Cairo agreement to form a committee to manage Gaza led by Shaif?
As I said, it was very wise actually, and as I said, he has enough expertise to implement the next phase, the reconstruction phase. And then also as I said, they have all agreed to the 15 names that they have suggested and proposed in this technocratic committee. And so I think that this committee's role will be actually very important, and Egypt of course has played a very important role here by hosting this meeting and allowing all the factions and all the sides to agree without any conflict. And of course, this is huge when it comes to Egypt's efforts and Cairo's meetings and staying in contact on a political and diplomatic level or even a security level with the general intelligence shows that Egypt really cares about the Palestinian cause and really wants to implement the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement and to guarantee the rights of the Palestinians and not allowing Israel to manipulate any of the points or even trying to stall them.
Could Israel attempt to obstruct the implementation of the second phase of the Gaza agreement?
Yeah, definitely. They're actually trying, and they claim that getting back their last deceased detainee is a condition to move on without any obstacles in the future. And then also there have been attempts to add more obstacles when they have requested to disarm Hamas immediately, and this wasn't actually agreed upon. They didn't. There was no timeline in the plan. Of course, as you know, they've been stalling humanitarian aid delivery, even with the winter conditions that the people of Gaza have been dealing with now, and so. The current government are just trying to stall until the upcoming elections or for Netanyahu to get a presidential pardon for the cases that he is in trial for, and so he can run in the elections again. And so, I think that there will be stalling and obstacles, but on the other hand, there is U.S. pressure. Even if not directly, to make sure that Israel complies to the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement and Trump's peace plan. And so, I think that the more pressure the U.S. puts on Israel, the more Israel will actually comply, and the faster will be moving on to the next phases of the Trump peace plan until we reach a full Israeli withdrawal from the Gaza Strip according to the agreement and start reconstruction.
So what possible move can Trump do to implement and pressure Netanyahu to start the implementation of the second phase of the Gaza agreement?
Even though Trump has a lot on his plate right now, through foreign intervention or the whole relationships with Europe, or the confrontation or the conflict with the Chinese trade, economic and trade wars as well. But Trump really cares about the Palestinian cause, and I mean the Gaza cause specifically, because this is a way for the U.S. to save face and to for the U.S. to have better relationships with the countries in the region. And so the U.S. government thinks that implementing and completing the peace plan phases without harming Israel's security is really important for the U.S. so that they can deal with the Middle East and the Arab countries specifically. And so the U.S. president has tried, and also his government have made sure that Israel will comply to the peace plan. But of course, Israel is always attempting to make up things and make up a pretext so that they don't move on to the next phases of the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement. And as you know, they have even tried to renew the mandate, or trying to get the votes for the current officials. And so the U.S. role is very important actually, and I think that the US should actually add maximum pressure or put maximum pressure so that we can move on to phase 2. As you know, it is the core of the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement and also allowing humanitarian aid.
From Cairo, that was Mohamed Ezz El-Din, Al-Ahram managing editor. Thank you very much for joining us on Q News.